I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you
Greetings technicians, this is Admin Crow here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you another week of Teambuilder in the TDL, the league of the season of Tier 3 and below. So this week is week 5. We are taking on Rizvi, the coach of the Vancouver Spectres, who is, I believe, Templar's friend, aka Tommy from last season. So his friend Rizvi is brand new, I guess relatively new to competitive Pokemon plays, so he doesn't have the best record this season, but regardless, we're still gonna try to put up a our best effort to this team builder as well, no matter who our opponents are. So I'm just gonna hop into the builder and go over the sets that I'm bringing this week and explain how they are effective against Rizvi's roster, which should appear to you right by now. So first up, we have Alexander the Nidoking, packing Life Orb and Sheer Force, a very similar set as last week, simply because I believe Rizvi's team doesn't have a poison type. That's why T-Spike is so good against him, and his has a control options are pretty limited as well. It will be the trip damage will be really nice, especially for his Nidoking. For his Slowking and his Raptors, which are two of the bigger threats of being able to stay in one of my sweepers, which I will introduce later in this builder. So Ice Beam is there, the combination of Earth Power, Sludge Wave, and Ice Beam hits his entire roster. Ice Beam is primarily there for his flying type, being that Tornadus is such a huge threat against my team as well, especially in an Unlimited Z move format where it can run Supersonic Sky Strike easily. It pretty much just claims 1 kill against my team, as my my electric type does not resist flying, being my Vikavolt. Earth Power is my primary click against most of his roster, and the EV spreads are just a timid nature with max special attack and max speed. I figured it wasn't really worth me speed creeping some of his mons, but this is the best set I can bring anyways. I believe there was one mon, I can't remember off the top of my head, that shares a very similar speed tier as Nidoking. Yes, so I just took a look at his roster. It would be the Altaria, so there wasn't too many EVs I can get out of I guess a speed creeping version of Nidoking. I can run a little bit less speed, but I don't think it was worth the effort. That's why I have the set. I believe Altaria does have a base speed of 80, so that's that. So up next we do have Archilles the Druidgong coming back again this week. The first member of our green gang, packing the leftovers, as I do need a little bit of recovery to help me take hits a little bit better. I do have a max HP and max attack, max HP and max defense with a defensive nature with rough skin. So it's pretty standard, except rough skin without a rocky helmet, as I want this thing to be his the primary switch into his physical attackers, mainly being the Incineroar and the Raptors, if I have to take a hit. So this thing's job this week is pretty much just set up Stealth Rocks and be able to toxic as many things as possible, base things around with Dragon Tail, and Earthquake is there for most, if not all, of his mons. He does have one fairy type on his roster, which is Grambo. I can toxic that thing and just be able to hit that thing pretty hard with the Earthquake, or switch out accordingly, as I do have a couple switch-ins for the Grambo if he so decide to bring that. Next up, we do have Supreme the Crafty, which is our one of our primary sweepers this week, packing the leftovers with the ability Shed Skin and Double Dance, Dragon Dance and Bulk Up. So the idea behind this set is so that I can sit there and be able to get up a Bulk Up and 2 Dragon Dances up, ideally, so that I can guarantee myself to outspeed his max speed Tornadus, and the Drink Punch is there for recovery. The combination of Drink Punch and knock off his entire roster, barring the Gramble, which again I do have a couple switch-ins for the Gramble, and I know this setup is relatively hard to pull off, simply because not only I need a Bulk up at least, and I need 2 Dragon Dances up on top of that, but with my EV spreads, it can very easily help me achieve that if he doesn't have the Gramble. So this thing can pretty much run through his entire team. I don't really need the Moxie in case he's running Toxic or Thunder Wave on his mons. Shed Skin gives me a chance to get rid of them. So the EV spreads are just max HP with a careful nature, as there's no way for me to boost my special defense. I do have a lot of special defense investment and just enough speed so that I outspeed that Tornadus again at +2. So up next we do have Dutchman coming back again, the Delmice, packing the Ghost CMZ and the ability Steel Worker, of course. So Ghost CMZ hits his entire roster for a good damage, barring the Incineroar. So I do have Ghost CMZ Phantom Force right here instead of the standard Shadow Claw to maximize my damage, and I do have a Rapid Spin and Power Whip as well for hazard removal and my other form of stab. Power Whip is there mainly for the Slowking, as I don't have to spend another turn to go for Phantom Force. That was my main idea there. It also hits the Lunatone decently hard, and Anchor Shot in case I want to predict a switch-in or a prevent a double. So I do have max HP and max attack right here. This thing's the main job is just to wall break with Ghost CMZ. So up next we do have Overdrive the Vikavolt, packing a very similar set as last week as well. Simply because the combination of Thunderbolt and Energy Ball and Bug Buzz destroy his entire roster. T-Bolt is for his water types, primarily the Slowking and the Tornadus. And I do have Energy Ball for the Lantern in case he does have both Absorb and also for the Rhyperior and the Regirock as well. So Bug Buzz is there primarily for the Slowking as well, so I don't have to make a prediction in case he does bring the Rhyperior on top of the Slowking. And I believe his roster also consists of yeah, that's the primary. That's the other thing, I guess. No, sorry, that's pretty much everything. But his Dragon type being the Altaria, I can't really touch very well with my Vikavolt. But the fact that he's also Flying Dragon, Thunderbolt will do a good neutral damage anyways. So he doesn't really have a switch in. Especially I'm packing that Life Orb as well. So the EV spreads is just max special attack with a modest nature and a lot of speed to ensure that I outspeed that Tornadus again at +2 and the rest in HP. So up next we do have a very special member coming back again, Sango the Corsola, packing the leftovers with the ability Regenerator. The movesets are Scald, Power Gem, Toxic, and Recover. The idea is be able to switch into his special attackers with my Calm Nature and a lot of special defense investment, and a little bit of defense in case I have to take an EQ from the Superior, so I can fire off a Scald right after. Power Gem is primarily there for his Regi's Ice and his Tornadus. This thing take hits from Tornadus all day. With my investment, I can also take a superpower from the Tornadus if I have to, but this thing just eats up Hurricanes for breakfast. I don't need all that much of special defense to be able to take Hurricanes comfortably from the Tornadus. And this thing also switched in relatively well to Incineroar. The first knockoff is going to hurt for sure, but if he goes for a fire type move, it's not gonna do too much to me. Last week I did play Templar, aka Tommy, and he had an M board that destroyed my entire roster. So I really regret not bringing Corsola against him. But this time around, I'm not gonna make the same mistake. Even though Riz doesn't have the best record, I still have to take this match seriously. I do have max HP and a lot of special defense here. Again, I don't need a lot of defense to be able to take hits from Incineroars comfortably. Simply because Incineroar is not Ember, it doesn't have that fighting stab or that reckless ability. So yeah, this is pretty much the team for this week. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope to see you in the match. This is gonna be Admin Crow here signing off. See you guys next time. Goodbye, technicians.